Welcome back to the program. Thank you very much for staying with us. A staggering report recently revealed that Nigeria's Dangote Petroleum Refinery and other modular refineries may spend $8.5 billion or more in just 6 months if they have to import crude oil, despite Nigeria being Africa's top producer. That's $1.4 billion every month on crude exports. What does this mean for Nigeria's economy? What does this mean for energy stability and security? Well, to help us navigate this tricky situation and understand the politics as well as the economics of the oil and gas sector is Dr. Billi Gillis-Harry. He's the national president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria. He's joined us virtually from Port Harcourt. Dr. Harry, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us for the conversation. First of all,
thank you so much. Good evening, and thank you for having me here.
Expressing your concerns. Recently, you've been expressing quite a lot of concerns from the price crashes and how that is apparently bad for business because of the lack of seeming regulations, to the idea that now the products will be sold in dollars because of the lack of availability of feedstock from the NNPCL. We understand that that narrow for crude swap is still being renegotiated. Paint a picture for Nigerians about how volatile this situation really is.
Well, I don't think it has reached any point where volatility will be anticipated, but we are concerned because our units across the country are passing information to us on the urgency that is being expressed by retail outlet owners who try to stock product and different things. And we were concerned that we shouldn't panic in the situation. Dangote Refinery has only informed us that they are likely going to start selling crude oil, refined product to us in US dollars. And that has not been confirmed to be active. So there is really no need to make so much fuss about it. What we want to encourage Nigerians and the leadership of this country is that we should always look at what will be in the best interest of the country, what will help in growing our economy, what will stabilize us and ensure that there's peace and there's progress.
And in trying to situate this particular situation, right, you say it's not volatile yet, but the indicators are looking rather concerning, to use your word. How did we get here? Because a couple of months ago, we're all excited about the trend, about how affordable petrol and diesel is becoming. We're excited about all of the other refineries that are coming upstream and so on and so forth. Now, the forecast is looking concerning, to use your word. How did we get here?
Well, you recall that we had as very responsible organization, looked into the activities that was coming, and we sounded a note of alarm that when prices are being pushed up and down, for reasons that are not very clear to understand from a business perspective, from an entrepreneur's perspective, there must be something that is likely to go wrong. And so we had shouted out that the regulators and also the Federal Consumer Protection Council should try to take a look at what's going on, have a roundtable discussion with the stakeholders in the Petroleum Industry Stakeholder Forum that's being headed by the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, Senator Lupobri, doing a very good job there. So that situation, you can see, at some point it was seen as something that was controversial. I recall, a few people saying that we are anti-human, we are anti-personal. And today you can see, because we know that somebody must be bleeding for those kind of price wars that was coming on, and we needed to look at things from the perspective of ensuring that there is fairness in everything that's being done. Business is done for profit, for sustainability. And it's very important that Nigerians continue to enjoy the availability of petroleum products to guarantee our energy security. But it's also very important that we buy affordably, but with a mindset that those who are in the business should also be making profits to guarantee further investment. I think that we are where we are today because somehow we take our policies just right into the street before we start thinking about them. And we need to try to take a look at how we can review most of our policies, most of our actions, most of our decisions, especially as it affects the growth of the economy. And we have shouted out that PMS has clearly become a major commodity in the stability and growth of the economy. So anything that has to do with PMS must be thought thoughtfully, deeply, clearly, and logically, with all the attendant factors that should make a sustainable decision. So I think that's where we're coming from.
All right. So a few facts here. It is a fact that the Dangote refinery has highlighted what is likely going to happen with that position about selling the product in US dollars, which is a head scratcher for the most part. I mean, they're selling the products in Nigeria, and we also know that transactions in Nigeria are primarily domiciled in Naira. How is that going to work? But also, you've raised certain concerns about panic buying. For the past 2 weeks, we've been hearing about the Naira for crude swap being ended, renegotiated. What can you tell us about that, and where are we with Dangote Refinery's position on selling the product to local suppliers as well as distributors like you in a foreign currency? Because that, I believe, is not only going to hike the price, but it's also going to create quite the instability for the Naira in terms of foreign exchange.
Well, attempting to sell PMS in Nigeria in a dollar denomination obviously is not a good idea, and we do not encourage that to happen. We also encourage the government to look at those policies on Naira for crude and see how best it can be deepened and how it can be made to be more efficient. I think the objective should be efficiency, sustainability, and guaranteed continuous support growth of the economy. So this is exactly how it should be, and I think that is one certain way that we can look at how our economy should grow.
And in just trying to re-echo one of the things you said in your statement earlier, because you released two statements, you did talk about the Port Harcourt refinery operating non-stop for 180 days. It's clear that PETROAN seem to think that everything is going smoothly on the home front regarding state-owned or whatever the arrangement is with the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries, that things are going smoothly. What do we know about the capacity it is operating at, and what can you tell us about availability of product? Because you also cautioned against panic buying for those who are worried that the prices will go up anytime soon. You say that Nigerians should not panic buy at the moment, everything is stable. But also talk to us about availability of the product, with Dangote saying that they're likely going to switch to a different currency, selling to the market domestically, and you saying that the Port Harcourt refinery has been operating optimally for the past 180 days non-stop.
Yeah, well, for about 180 days, the refinery has been up and running. Contrary to the naysayers that the refinery will not work, PETROAN has consistently watched that development, and we have seen consistent production coming out of the depot and loading going on every other day. Challenges have been prices moving up and down, but as far as production and loading out of the depot, it has been continuous over the course of the last 180 days. And we do think that that is something that was commendable, and encourage the NNPC management to do more to ensure that all the refineries that are owned by them are working. And if there is a need to privatize them with critical stakeholders, we should be able to start that discussion and know exactly how to sustain that business. Because we really don't think that the way government runs enterprises should be encouraged, and the private sector, by all means, will do much better in sustaining the tempo. But we applaud them that for 180 days the refinery has worked non-stop. There was a slight rumor about a fire, which was not true. It was a mild skirmish that can happen anywhere. The gas is a small flare that was taken out immediately. So that's our objective, and to also encourage NNPC to ensure that Kaduna Refinery is also fired on. Warri Refinery is up and running, and they should all start producing and be commercially available to the Nigerian public.
Do you think there's a mischaracterization or an over-sensationalization of the stories that are emanating from the oil and gas industry? Do you think people are being alarmist for no reason?
Well, you use the right word. We're in the industry, and we try to watch. PETROAN has quite a lot of interests to protect because we are the most critical last mile in the industry. And if refineries are not working in the country, then we'll start battling with imports that will also have their own challenges. So we are very careful to watch all the goings on and be able to sound an alarm where it's necessary, sound encouragement where it's necessary, and ensure that we as retail outlet owners continue to service the Nigerian public efficiently and most passionately with a human face. So I think that some of the news that comes out in the industry, you use the right word, alarmist, but I think you, the media, also owes the Nigerian public the additional hard work of investigating most of those sensational stories that come up. And for instance, I gave an interview to some newspaper people, and my words were very, very straightforward, that we'll continue to buy from Dangote Refinery, we'll continue to buy from NNPC, we'll continue to encourage imports to come in so long as the import prices are competitive. And the headline screamed, something completely different. We are very proud of Dangote at any time in PETROAN. I'm personally very proud of him because as a Nigerian that has taken the responsibility and risk to invest so much in making sure that there's energy, security, and availability, we applaud it. That does not mean if something is not right, we will not say so. We'll say so with all sense of responsibility. And I think the media also have to, reduce the hype and, discuss the major issues concerned in this conversation and headline the information properly as it's detailed in the stories.
Right. So let's talk about the politics within the industry, because it has become obvious that there is some politics within the industry that is shaping the nature of the challenges that we continue to observe or witness. No available feedstock for Dangote local modular refineries. That is the understanding if the Naira for crude swap deal is no longer on the table. How does this work? Where are we with that negotiation? Because we understand that the federal government is still trying to work out how this is all going to go. I mean, Dangote still needs a lot more of those feedstock from outside the country, and the local modular refinery is also needed from within. And I suppose that saves some cost if they are buying it in Naira. What can you tell us about the Naira for crude swap deal that the Tinubu administration championed? Is it dead, or what's happening?
Well, to the knowledge of PETROAN, the deal is not dead. The deal is being negotiated. we had the same story, and we presented it to the Honourable Minister of Petroleum Oil, that these are the surreptitious news that's making rounds in the social media, that the Naira for crude has been stopped. And it was clearly stated to us in PETROAN that there was no stoppage, but the fact that the preliminary pilot package will be closing on the 31st of March, and there is the need to review all that has happened in the last 180 days and be able to come up with solutions. As far as I know, that discussion is still ongoing. And so there is really no need for anybody to panic on the side of the refiners or even on the side of the Nigerian public. So that's what I think.
So apparently you are saying, listen, everybody calm down. It is not as bad as they're making it sound. It's not as bad as it has been reported. What is your forecast into how all of these concerns will be addressed? From the pricing issue where, as you stated earlier, listen, Dangote refinery waking up, crashing the price willy-nilly is not helping the market stabilize. NNPCL playing catch-up with Dangote in terms of the price war is also not helping. There is a need for a long-term sustainable plan to bring these prices down. But we have to factor in everybody, the value chain as well as the customers. How confident are you that we are going to witness some sort of stability within this industry? Because as you can imagine, the tailspin that the economy has been experiencing is all hinged on the removal of subsidy in 2023.
Well, I will not say confidence is lacking from my thoughts. I'm a very big optimist as to how good Nigeria can come and how I believe that so deeply in my heart. Because I see different things happening in this country. From independence to now, there's quite a lot that we should be proud of as a country that has happened, and so many things that we should regret that has happened that we should correct. And I believe that since we are living and alive and have the heart to make Nigeria a better and greater place, things will get normal. Now, as far as the industry is concerned, I believe that by the time the Technical Committee that's discussing about this domestic pricing of crude oil to the refineries concluded, we should be able to see light at the end of the tunnel. In the last few days, there's been meetings upon meetings, and nothing has been said that's contrary to the fact that the Naira payment for crude will continue. There may be some surreptitious political undertones, moves here and there, depth projections, but I'd like to wait to hear from the government side what they have come up with. And I believe that everybody that's on the discussion table, every time they get out of there, don't come out discouraged. If it was so, we would have heard some kind of discordant tones coming from there. But with this piece that comes out from every turn of the meeting, I believe that proper decisions were made not to stop it, but maybe review the process by which the Naira for crude will impact the industry and ensure that there are no sharp practices. Nobody is trying to undercut the other one. NNPC doing their bit, Dangote doing his bit, doing their bit, Ezekiel doing their bit, Edo Refinery, Niger Delta, Water Smith, Bua refineries that's coming up, and some of the ideas that PETROAN has also floated with refineries coming here and there. So I think that there will be a hope at the end of the tunnel, that all of these issues will be discussed and clearly preemptive actions will be taken to mitigate any kind of wrong that will be done to the Nigerian public. And I pray that every leader takes that responsibility and makes sure that Nigeria breathes and we're alive to see another day with new economic heights achieved, political stability, and happiness that used to be an indication for all Nigerians. We need to get back there. And I believe we'll get back there.
A fine point to end the conversation there, but if you have to give me a yes or no response, are all the key players in the industry playing fair, and is everybody sailing in the same direction?
My answer would be no. And that's why we called for umpires to come in and stabilize the process, so there'll be fairness in everything that's being done, and everybody will look out for everybody. So nobody takes an upper hand that is very detrimental to other sectors of the economy. Okay. The entire value chain need to come together, work together, and get results that will be able to help our country to grow.
Right. Dr. Billi Gillis-Harry, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I appreciate you for your take, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
All right.
Thank you.
And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to be a part of the next episode. We'll be back tomorrow live at 8 p.m. Until next time, my name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Good evening.